Nope. There I am. Hey everyone, my name's Jared Bernard and welcome to Robin's Hood. Today, well, today's sort of like a new day. Feels strange. There's this like strange anxiety about the whole idea of coming online and like talking to you guys and really like taking the shot at immortalizing your ideas and your opinions and kind of there's that chance of either you look like a complete idiot or you could be a genius. And both have their, pros and cons, but what is it? It's just something that what do you call it? It's got an impact, and I'm still kind of exploring it. And that's part of what I kind of wanted to do and come on here today and just talk a little bit about that. And it's interesting. I'm still kind of trying to unravel it and unpack it. And there's this thing that I experienced when I started. Oh, did I actually? No, yeah, I did it right. There's this things that I experienced, and I think I talked about in my last video about becoming a YouTuber and starting to make my own videos. And it was interesting. Like when I would make a video, I couldn't see the video that was coming out, and like I felt like I was conveying an idea that it looked like there was something in there in the 20 minutes that I would send my editor, but she would really make something out of it. And here, like, I feel like there's this huge chance of rambling. And if any of you know me, oh my God, I can ramble. But I guess that's sort of the point. Huh. Yeah. Anyway, what do I feel like going at here? I guess I might as well just kind of jump into some of the things that have been on my mind lately. There's this common conversation I have with people, and it's really heavily centered around feelings. And there's this, I guess it's really common saying amongst people, and we say something like, "You make me feel." And it's interesting how that could or could not completely derail or highly impact a conversation, but the concept of "you make me feel" means that the feeling you encounter when something happens is the fault of the individual, right? They created that feeling for you. And I kind of have a different prescription prescriptions, right? But a different idea of how to approach feelings. I think of feelings as sort of, how do I put it? We have this huge like package of feelings that can kind of happen at any time. And they are there's ones that we know, like we've spent some time with, we've had experience with, and we understand them. And there's ones that we don't know. And when we encounter them, it acts like, I think the term is a trigger. And that trigger will create a response that we're unaware of. And we're not totally present to the feeling that we're experiencing. And then in turn, we're not totally present to our response to that feeling. And so when someone says to me, I've made them feel, my response is that I can't have made that. I don't know what it is of you to have made that. Now, there are some total exceptions. There's these basic ideas. Like essentially, if someone's touched you, right? Like if someone enters your physical space and impacts you physically, absolutely. The feeling you've acquired is, though without their intent, their negligence is... It's when you, like, if you hit somebody, we all know how much that's going to hurt. It's undeniable the impact of a situation. But feelings are so individual that though there are a lot of really huge general guesses as to when you can assume someone will feel a certain way, the ultimate truth is that it's still an assumption. And because of that, how do I put it? I'm going on a ramble here. Because of that, the individual, ourselves, we need to be responsible for how we feel. And there's a real disconnect of what that word means. Like somehow people get a little offended, or they feel the need to defend whether or not they're responsible for something. And the difference isn't about whether or not they caused it, right? If you're responsible, it doesn't mean you caused that feeling. That feeling just happened, right? Feelings are an experience. We don't always try to make them. Sometimes they can occur by choice. We can think our way into a feeling. It's a thing. But the more common thing is that a feeling sort of just happens and we experience it. And so one of the things that being responsible for your feelings means is that when you encounter a feeling, you have to deal with it. It's yours. There's very, like, the idea of getting somebody else to do something for you to feel better. There are times that an individual can sue the situation, and I think the point of taking responsibility of your feelings is to get to a point where you can say, this is how I feel, and I'm okay about it. Like, I agree with my feelings. This is a good response, even though this is a terrible situation, right? I'm upset with you because this happened, and that's how I feel. You didn't make me feel it. This is the result of what happened, or what you even did, right? You did this thing, the action is true, but the result of what my feeling is mine. And now I present that to you. I present to you my feeling because I have taken the time to look inward. I've taken the time to identify where that feeling is coming from, and that what I'm presenting to you now is the response I want to be. This is who I want to be in the in response to whatever situation has happened. And I'm gonna say this is radically easier said than done, and like for me, way easier than a lot of people. Like, I'm a straight white male, right? Like the able-bodied, able-minded, and like that's those privileges make all these things so much easier, because I don't have to face as many triggers as so many other people do, and I think that it's the value of recognizing that, like there's absolutely a truth in that. Doesn't take away the truth in that when we become responsible for our feelings, it becomes an identity thing. It's like, I identify with how I'm feeling. I'm okay with that. I agree with that. And there's a lot of different ways of and I agree with this, and this is who I want to be. And then this is when you're presenting the case of compassion, right? I'm now letting you know how I feel. I'm not blaming you for it. I'm asking you to care enough about how I feel to go into it with me, right? To examine that process. There's a thing that's going around. I guess it feels like maybe 20 years. It could be longer. They're called impact statements. Maybe even they come from drug and alcohol counseling. I can't remember, but they talk a lot about examining the results, and I totally am into those. And I think it's a really good idea. The real challenge is to have a language or a way of talking to someone that doesn't blame them, because that's when it becomes a failure to identify what you're doing, right? When I say I feel this way, and then I tell you how I feel, I'm acknowledging my role in the situation, right? And now again, there's that. If someone's touched you, and I forgot the other one was if someone's yelling. Yelling is it's a thing that I think, but people just like, there is a difference in culture here. Like there's a lot of cultures that have yelling really deeply in they don't even think of it as yelling, right? Like, I'll hear them talking and they're just saying I'm talking loudly. It's happened to couple of relationships I've had, but and then like the yelling thing, that for them it's totally different. But anyway, in general, especially in the western part of the world, yelling is a thing where it is seen as a way of leverage, right? If you're yelling at someone, it's to shut them down. It's to stop the conversation from going beyond this point. So that's another. It's manipulative and abusive, especially from a lot of angles. There are ways that it's just a style of venting, but I also propose that that's more of a subconscious thing, that we've learned to vent that way because it tilts the conversation in our favor. And I'm going to be honest that it's mostly men. Men learn to yell a lot more than women, and it's not about a gender thing, I think, as much as it is just a thing that we've accepted in society based on some gender, which I don't know if maybe that is a gender thing. Tell me what you think. I don't know. So that's the concept in a nutshell. The idea is to use your language to take full responsibility for your feelings. It means that doesn't mean you're taking responsibility for the person's action, right? That person still is going. That's the idea. Is you're giving them the consequences of their action and letting them fully experience the result of what happened. And so once that happens, because like one of the things that I think, like when I used to work with kids, there was this whole work around the word sorry, right? We would just get kids to say they're sorry, and then we'd move on. And the thing that I learned over a period was that the value of feeling sorry versus the just use of the word, it was just, it's an experience, it's an impact. And that's kind of why I wanted to have these kind of conversations, is be able to come up here and go live with you guys and just expose myself and talk about my ideas. And I again, these are my theories and ideas, and I'm totally open to hearing other ideas and different ways of thinking, and how has something in your life impacted you to feel a certain way, so that this either is a challenge or something you enjoy. I don't know. Let me know what you think about what I've said here. Well, how long have I been ranting now? It's like 12 minutes. I don't know if I took a breath really well through all that. It's like, it's definitely gonna have to take a little while to like ease into it. I'm gonna pretend I'm cool and know what I'm doing. Yeah, that's not happening. Anyway, I think that's generally the concept. There's a whole bunch of other things that can attach to this, and this is something that I guess once we get more viewers and people that are interested in chiming in, and also like there'll be comments hopefully in the video down below. Please let me know and tell me what you think. I'm totally okay with you mocking me. I got called was it oh, I can't remember now. I don't know, but whatever makes this popular, that's the thing that's going to do it, and hopefully we do it together. It didn't work out. That was unfortunate. And that's online forever. That's for you. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys later.